That's it, it's gone. And now I know I bought the wrong MacBook Pro. One of the main reasons I started this channel was to help people avoid buyer's remorse, and ironically I've fallen foul of it myself, and it all relates to this, the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Don't get me wrong, this is the best MacBook Pro I've ever owned, but over the last 4 weeks I've had access to a 14-inch version and I fell in love with it. So in this video I thought I'd explain 5 reasons why the 14-inch is the MacBook Pro for me and why I really miss it now it's gone back to where it came from. Right, before we get started, just a very quick word from today's sponsor, which is Trendmicro and their fantastic premium security suite. If you're looking for complete all-in-one identity and device protection for your home and family, this is the one to go for. There's a VPN, a brilliant VPN by the way, password manager, mobile security, ID security, protection against ransomware, email scamming, and other forms of cybercrime. And it works across Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, Chromebooks. Basically, any device in your household will work with Premium Security Suite. You even get 24/7 support from humans. Like all of Trendmicro's stuff, it's very easy to install, very easy to set up, and very easy to use, even though there's loads of features. The VPN is a fantastic example of that. I use that all the time in the local coffee shop. It keeps my traffic secure. So if, like me, you want to make sure your device is secure when you're out and about using it in public Wi-Fi, or you just want to make sure that your kids' devices are safe, I don't think there's anything better than Premium Security Suite. To find out more, just click that link in the description and, well, let's get on with my 5 reasons that the 14-inch MacBook Pro is for me. Number 1 on my list I have talked about quite a lot, so please forgive me, and for that reason I will keep it brief, but I've realised over the last 4 weeks that the 14-inch MacBook Pro is the right size for me. I tend to move around and edit in different locations, so beyond the studio and at home, I work in coffee shops, at the local gym. If I'm travelling, I'll work on the train, on the plane, etc., in the airport, and quite often you're given very small things to put your laptop on. And what I found is that 14-inch MacBook Pro sits anywhere perfectly. It's this mini powerhouse that you can literally put anywhere and which keeps you productive no matter what you're doing, whether you're writing, doing email, speaking to your team on Slack, editing videos, editing audio, writing code. It's so capable and so portable. And this is such an important point about the 14-inch MacBook Pro that I completely overlooked when I chose the 16-inch version. Number 2 on this list is possibly the silliest, and it does relate to point number 1, but it's my list so I don't care. And it's basically the fact that the 14-inch MacBook Pro is the ultimate sling it under your arm laptop. And you won't have a clue what I'm talking about unless you've had one in your hands. There's just something about that chunky, slightly retro design which makes it very satisfying to put under your arm and waltz around with. The closest thing I can compare it to is if you carry around a MacBook Air with just your thumb and forefinger, so you grip the edge of the MacBook Air like that and walk around surveying your kingdom. That's a satisfying thing to do. These are really strange reasons, I know, but there's just something about the form factor and that slingability, not slingability, the sling under the arm ability of the 14-inch MacBook Pro, which I absolutely love. Right, on to some proper reasons now, and number 3 is that it really is a do-it-all device. You know, I work with video, I work with audio, I do loads of writing, I do loads of running a business type stuff as well. And I need a laptop that can do all of those things in one go. Not in one go, but it can do all of those things throughout the day, and I can switch between those tasks without any trouble whatsoever. My M2 MacBook Air is a fantastic all-rounder when it comes to business type stuff and writing, but as soon as I throw anything production related like video editing at it, it just doesn't cope. It is the base model version to be fair, but that's an example of a laptop that does a couple of things very well, but not everything. My 16-inch MacBook Pro does the production side of things fantastically. It can spit out really high quality 4K videos very quickly, and I get lots of things done in that production realm because of how quick it is. But it's also huge. And that means taking it pretty much anywhere to do other stuff like writing and admin type things is an absolute pain in the backside. The 14-inch MacBook Pro though, while I was using it, even though it wasn't mine, I was thinking, I don't need any other Mac. And then I realized this is what normal people do, because normal people don't have loads of Macs like I do and like other reviewers do. We have all this stuff because we do review it, and most of the time we have to buy it, which means we end up keeping it. So I live in this weird, unrealistic world where I have lots of different Macs to use, but when I had that 14-inch, it was clear as day that that is the only MacBook, in fact the only Mac I needed. Number 4 is that the 14-inch MacBook Pro is a timely reminder of the 16-inch MacBook Pro. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's for very good reason. If you want that 16-inch MacBook Pro, please go and check it out. I make a joke about it being as big as a planet and all that sort of stuff. I don't mean that, but it's quite overwhelming at times just how large it is. So having had that time with the 14-inch MacBook Pro, it just reminded me to remind you to go and check out the big one if that's what you think you want, because I think a lot of people will see it in person and think, no, that isn't right for me. Number 5 is that the compromises that come with the 14-inch MacBook Pro, and there are a few, are pretty easy to overcome. There's 2 that I've encountered over the last 4 weeks. The first one is the size of the display. So obviously it's smaller than the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and you can get less on the screen. You have to do a bit more multitasking and that sort of stuff. But even with video editing, I got over that quite quickly. And again, that's because of that portability. The second thing is the performance. The 14-inch MacBook Pro is a little bit slower than the 16-inch version. 16-inch has more room to get the heat out. It doesn't have to rely on throttling the CPU too much, whereas the 14-inch does slow things down a bit when things get a bit too hectic. But you only notice this if you compare the two side by side, which no one does apart from us reviewers. And even if you go for the M1 or the M2 version, we're talking seconds difference between the 16-inch and the 14-inch. It's just not enough to worry about. The only other compromise is battery life, and I did notice that the battery on the 14-inch MacBook Pro did wind down a little bit quicker than the 16-inch version. I could get over that because it's so portable, it's still very quick, and it still has one of the best batteries on the market. Unfortunately, that 14-inch MacBook Pro has gone back to where it came from. I'm very sad. I miss it loads already. I'd love to hear from you though. If you're a massive fan of the 14-inch MacBook Pro, let me know why in the comments, even if it's a really stupid, or you think really stupid reason, because as you can see, I've got some really silly reasons. And if you've still got some time and you're still trying to work out whether to go for the 14-inch or the 16-inch MacBook Pro, keep watching for a link to my buying guide.